Got something in your eye there, Jude? What's going on, everyone? It's Lee here, the rental guy. Welcome to the weekly vlog. Welcome back for some of you. For some of you, well, welcome for the very first time. For those of you who it's your very first time, and you don't know my story, I started this business. This is a party rental business. This is just the front showroom 4 years ago from the garage of my house, and I built up to get here. And we're right in the middle of summer season, so let's get into the vlog of how the week went and just what I've experienced. This is gonna be more of my experience and reflection on the week, because throughout the other vlogs, which is in this album here, I have posted pretty much everything about operations, but this one's gonna be an interesting one, so stay tuned. So first of all, let's get the work out of the way. What work did we do? How much did we make? This week for tents, we weren't that tent heavy. We did a 30 by 80 tent, and we did a 20 by 20 tent, and then 3 sets of 20 by 20 pop-up tents and a bunch of pickups. Yeah. It's Saturday. I only have one guy on Saturday, and he's gone. We just do some last minute pickups and drop-offs through our bay here. I think we had 4 pickups, cotton candy machine, a few pop-up tents, and a few other things that went out today. So I've gotten to the point where everyone is pretty much trained. I don't have to tell them much what to do, which is absolutely great, but they're all going back to school soon, and I'm gonna be left on my own because I have not yet hired a full-time manager for the warehouse because I don't feel I'm quite there yet. I feel like I'm the guy for the job, and I'm not willing to pay that amount yet for someone. I still feel I need to build more inventory before I can afford to pay someone an adequate wage to properly manage a warehouse. So I still am in a very much overseeing position, and I have to juggle, how much labor I do and how much I, let them do. I can't micromanage as much. So I'm in a weird middle place. Me being in this weird middle place, I have to manage expectations. I have to keep everything consistent in the warehouse. And, that goes down to cleanliness. That goes down to, who's wearing their jerseys. That goes down to, are you their boss or their friend with the employees? And all these things matter if you're trying to make an image for your business, which I'm trying to do. So, little things like, does everyone wear their shirt matters? And me not being their friend, but, if they do something good, we reward them. But if they, aren't listening and aren't following instructions, they need to know that they're not doing it right, so that we go on the path that makes us consistent, because consistency is key. And it's hard when you're really busy to stay consistent, because some of these things, they get thrown out the door when you're just so busy you can't even breathe, right? But that's why I'm here on Saturday. You fix certain things, you see holes, you try to make staff happy. I'll show you a few things that I did to make staff happy. Well, someone swept in here today. That makes me happy, so now I have to make them happy. So it's the little things about promising and following through. When they're doing linens here, it gets boring. And so I always told them, we'll get a TV up there for them, right? And so I hung the TV today so that they can, have a little bit of entertainment while they're doing linens, because it's an all-day job. It takes all day, just whatever day you're doing linens, it takes all damn day. So to be a little entertained, that gives them, a reason to like their job just a little bit more. So, you give them little perks like that, and they'll like their job more. My wife being the admin, she is so busy just doing everything, kind of managing with me. I popped in, let her have Saturday off, and I just cleaned up the showroom a little bit. This will give her a head start so that she can kind of redecorate things from, me doing just a little bit of cleaning. These little extras, your staff appreciates them, and when they go away, they won't say anything to you because you're their boss, but you have to keep the consistency. Little things like when they are on their lunch break, they know that they can grab a drink, and the fridge is stocked full of drinks just for them. This is a huge perk for them, and it costs you next to nothing. So I always try to stay consistent with the fridge being full of cold drinks. In our place, it's their job to add things to the what we should buy list. And you see this? They're all crossed out because I bought everything. Weekly, you need to pick up the things that they need to properly do their job. So what are some of these things? Dymo labels, those are labels for the label printers. Zip ties, shrink wrap, pens. Oh, pens is written back on there. There's tons of pens. I don't know what they're talking about. Our little Dymo label printer prints off all these labels that we can attach to all of our packages. You know, just make sure that they're stocked full of zip ties and bags and, you know, glassware wrapping bags, all the things, and that they're in the correct drawers so that when they go to find them, they're there. That's so important. Music is so important. You never see music playing in my videos other than my main music because I'll get a copyright strike. But I always encourage the guys, like our touch screen right here. You just throw YouTube on it and they will, you know, I'm like, hey, throw on Bob Marley playlist or whatever. It's like, hey guys, where's the music, right? Because music encourages just a positive workplace. Speaking of music, picked up a Bluetooth speaker so that there's some music on site. You're taking down a tent and it's quiet. Well, of course you talk to one another, but a little bit of music in the background goes a long way. So Bluetooth speaker for the win. The guys are going to love to see this here when they get here on Monday to go out and take down tents. They now have some music. So if you're catching what I'm throwing, you just need to make life easier for them so that they love their jobs. I mean, setting up tents and working in a warehouse isn't exactly the best job. You know, ask them what kind of things. The box truck here, it was hard to back up. I noticed it. They noticed it. They said, you know, get a backup cam and get some mirrors. So I got these little wide mirrors that can show different angles so that they can check the blind spots. That will help them, make them feel not as nervous to drive the trucks. And I'm installing a backup cam here right away. Give them raises. Give them something to work towards. That's so important. If you want them to work hard for you, make sure that they're requesting time off. Lots of my guys are Monday to Friday. So we try to make our schedules work Monday to Friday so that they can have the weekends off. And I've only got one other guy that works weekends with me, so I work extra hard on the weekends. But we try to make it so that we don't do much on the weekends. But when Monday comes and you're not as busy, you can spread these things out. Don't overwork them. You know, they have a whole weekend off and then Monday comes and it's like, yeah, we're taking down 4 tents. It's like, well, no, you know, space it through the days. You know, think about them. Don't always think about yourself and maximizing things. I have cameras everywhere. I like cameras. I like having text things. Bam, there's a camera right there. But don't watch your employees on the cameras because it will drive you absolutely bonkers wild, because you will see them doing weird things. You will see them slacking off. You will see them stealing your toilet paper. And sometimes you just don't want to see those things. Plus, you know, they don't want you spying on them. Just give them a task. And if they complete the task by the end of the shift, that's good enough. You know, don't micromanage them. They hate that. Give them space. If they don't finish the task on time, well, then it's time to give them shit, right? Then you can look on the cameras, but you can't micromanage them and you can't treat them like crap. That's treating them like crap, essentially. Anyways, back to the week. So yeah, we weren't that busy with tent installs, you know, the 30 by 80, the 20 by 20, lots of catering pickups and so forth. But there's been another flux of bookings for the next stage. There's the last minute bookers for the end of August gigs and then into September gigs. So we're still picking up lots of large tent gigs. So the money is still flowing in, thankfully. We had a record month, 120,000 so far this month. So there have been a few mistakes, customers complaining because of broken things or not working properly. So we've been trying to, you know, tackle that a little bit better. We've been making, you know, sheets that explain how certain things work and making sure to pack those in. But we've also been calling out customers on their BS, because customers will look for a reason to complain and really try to rip you off a bit. So you kind of have to juggle that. So, you know, we've been dealing with that with the best customer service we can possibly give. Back to consistency. I mean, the little things, they mean a lot. As little as the deliveries always being printed out on yellow sheets for us. And, you know, the orders that staff need to pack always on white. And then the orders that staff need to go pick up are in blue. As long as you keep with little stuff like that, you know, you'll flow good. And they'll know that it's just that way or the highway, right? Even my wife, when she does something wrong, unfortunately, I have to tell her what it is, because we have to stay on track. And your job as the owner is to stay on track, to keep everyone on track. Once people have their jobs, they have to stay in their lane. So don't be their friend, because then they'll, you know, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and then they'll swerve out of their lane, and then before you know it, the delivery sheets are in white, and the floor's not getting swept, and people are cutting corners at tent installs, and people are showing up sick and late and taking advantage of you, and you're out of business, perhaps. Worst case scenario. So, I'm not gonna waver. You don't waver either. So me managing the staff, I also make the schedule. So I look at my week and I think, oh, okay, so we're taking down a 30 by 80 on Monday. So I think, oh, okay, so all the takebacks are coming on Monday, so I need all hands on deck. So I make a 9 to 5 shift, but then I'm also taking down a 20 by 20, so I'll make one of those shifts 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. so that I and one other can go take down that tent while the people are at the shop doing takedowns. Then Tuesday, there's not much going on for takebacks or nothing going out. So we'll have the big tent, the 30 by 80 out of town. We'll have all hands on deck, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Taking down that tent. Wednesday, is a completely free day, so we need to take everything and we need to organize it and we need to clean it. So all hands on deck. Thursday, we've got a tent install, which we would have packed into the trailer the day before because that was a free day where we were cleaning and organized. So we'll pack that tent into the trailer. All hands on deck, basically giving orders out on Thursday and then executing tent install. And then Friday, we just have a whole bunch of pickups. We try not to do setups on Friday if we don't have to. And then Saturday, is just a few little setups and pickups. So we'll have 3 people on shift there. So yeah, I just look at the week and I look at the weather and I schedule accordingly. So the app that I use for scheduling is so handy. It's called Homebase. And there's a free version and a paid version. And the paid version, you know, can track their location when they're punching in and punching out and sends them text messages. But the free version has worked really good for me in previous years. So I can organize all the schedules for them. And then it also shows, you know, how much I'm spending roughly in payroll. So right now it shows 25.50. So that's on an average week is probably about 2,500 to 3 grand. So every pay period would be anywhere 5-6 grand. During the busy weeks, it's more like 10, 11, 12 grand. And so that's kind of how I'm going. I actually made a whole video on Homebase. It's just right here. Well, everyone, that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the vlog, and stay tuned for next week's vlog. Check out the album of all the vlogs right in the corner here. You stay classy.
Stay classy.
I was like lying on the ground, like half conscious. So I like went in the face. There was just gushing blood on the floor, like half my conscious. I got this all cut up. Down there, you can see my bones. Like 50 stitches.
Hey, we need a ratchet on the end.